points. Can't get the second to fall. Jurgutis comes up the floor. Jurgutis loses the ball. Henry at the buzzer got the layup. North Park with the upsets. North Park with the upsets. 76-69. North Park has upset the fourth-ranked team in the nation.
A good afternoon, early evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of NPU Weekly, the weekly webcast show that brings you up to date with all the latest news in the world of North Park University athletics. I am your host, Kevin Shepke, and for this next extensive, probably about 10, 15, maybe even 25 minutes, we'll be bringing you up to date on all the latest news in the world of North Park athletics, including full highlights from the North Park men's basketball game's upset victory over nationally ranked number 4 nationally ranked Augustana College by a 76-69 score this past Saturday. As we were just talking a little bit about, touching briefly about the North Park men's basketball team, the Vikings, since we last left you on January 20th, have gone just an unbelievable run. They are now 3-1 in their last 4 games. After a 75-50 loss to Elmhurst College on January 21st, they have now opened up a 3-game winning streak where they defeated North Central College, who was ranked number 17th in the country at the time on that date, January 24th, by a 92-68 score. And then they later came back to defeat Carthage in Kenosha by a 79-75 score on January 28th in Kenosha, as I said. And then the big one, obviously, was the January 31st victory, 76-69 over Augustana, which Augustana came into that game ranked number 4 in the nation. And for his efforts, sophomore guard Juwan Henry was named CCIW Player of the Week this past Monday, February 2nd. Henry is now averaging 22.4 points per game and 4.5 assists per game. And as I said, North Park is off to a 3-1 start in the second half of the season, and we have a slew of highlights that we'd like to show you from those past 4 games that the Vikings have had this past time since we last left you on January 20th. So let's go ahead and show those to you right now.
Size mismatch he wanted, but couldn't do anything with it. The ball is stolen. Colin Lake got his hand on it. McNamara picked up the ball. Gatz for 3. Nothing but nets. Robinson down low to Cobbs. Nice look inside by Robinson, hitting the cutting. Weiss pull up from the lane, won't go, and it's rebounded by TJ Cobbs, skying high to clean up the defensive glass, and he'll go coast to coast for the layup. Jordan Robinson down low to McNamara, banks one home. Crittenden has his pocket picked by Henry. Juwan Henry, finger roll is good.
The assistant men's basketball coach Cordell Henry, Vikings unfortunately coming off a 75-50 defeat against Elmhurst College tonight. Coach, what do you think the unfortunate breakdown was in tonight's game against the Blue Jays?
Rebounding. I mean, they had a huge margin, 59-22. It's a big team, so we had to do. Our guys didn't box out and wedge them out, get them out the lane, and that was a huge difference maker today.
What would you say was probably? I know it's difficult to pull a positive out of a game like this, but what do you think is probably a big positive that you could possibly pull out of a game like this?
The fact that we can play with anybody. We just got to be able to sustain two halves of a basketball game. I think 32-27 the first half. So our guys have to. They have to know that we can play with any team. We just focus and know this is a 40-minute game.
Talk about what Juwan Henry was able to do today. 19 points. Unfortunately, not as good shooting, but still was able to get double figures for you guys tonight. Talk about what he was able to do.
Well, Juwan's he's a stat stuffer. He can hurt you in a variety of ways. And with Juwan, everyone knows him, so they keen in on him. So he's doing the best he can of making plays.
Okay. All right, thanks so much.
Kicks it out to Gatz for 3. In and out, but rebounded by Hutchinson. Hutchinson gets the putback. Colin Lake for 3. Nothing but net. But it's rebounded by, who's got it? Juwan Henry's got it at the buzzer. He got it to go! Goes into a press here. Hutchinson to Lake. Lake up ahead to Cobbs. Cobbs got the easy basket. Into the corner it goes to Henry. Stolen by TJ Cobbs. Cobbs with the breakaway layup, and it's 68-48.
Men's basketball coach Tom Slider. Vikings coming off probably one of the biggest wins ever in conference play in recent memory, a 92-68 victory over North Central College. And Tom, what do you think was probably the biggest thing that led to this victory tonight? Obviously the final score, but just talking about what the guys were able to do as a team, as a cohesive unit tonight.
Well, it started about 2 weeks ago in practice, and we had to get back to some foundational things that we need to do better. And like when we started our losing streak, that started in practice about 2 weeks before we started losing. And tonight, this victory was due to the fact that we decided to get back to practicing and preparing how we need to. The other thing I would be remiss of saying is Juwan Henry probably played his single greatest game of his career. And that's because it was at both ends of the floor, and more than anything, it was how he was as a teammate. So, great team win, as you say, and a great team that we played. Anytime you can beat North Central and a ranked opponent who's had so much success lately, we'll take it. And I'm not going to be displeased with too much tonight.
Talking about how well you guys shot the ball, 61.8% for the total, 60% in both halves, 63% in the second half. Just you guys really shot the ball well and really got open looks. Just talking about what you guys were able to do on that end.
Well, sometimes it is your night and the ball goes in pretty well. And they zoned us, which meant we got a lot of three opportunities early. Juwan has been a little suspect shooting the three, and tonight there was no suspect to his shooting at all. It went in, and Colin was making his. Those two guys alone had 8 threes at halftime, and that kind of shoots the strategy of zoning us. And they really went to the zone because we were getting a lot of runouts and getting layups. So your shooting percentage goes up well when you're shooting breaks on layups. And when you're knocking the three down against the zone, it makes you an awful tough team to guard. So with that, then you can kind of have the smorgasbord of what comes with it when they try to take those things away and guys slip into the basket and making the extra pass. I thought really, the assists, the 11 assists at halftime and the 19 assists overall that we had as a team just speaks volumes to how we moved the basketball. But really, they call it team basketball, and tonight a team really played well for North Park.
Obviously a big win, but still it's only one win. You guys going now in the second half of the season. What do you think is now the biggest thing you guys can take from this game moving forward now into the second half of the conference season?
Well, hopefully momentum, and hopefully belief that you can beat a team that's ranked like this well and decisively, and that now we've been through the league one time, and we played with most people. Augustana is the one team we weren't in the game with, but the rest of the teams in the league we're in the game with for the better part of the game. Elmhurst got away from us at the end, but everybody else, it was a pretty tight game down to the wire. So our young guys need to believe, and there's no better way to believe than for getting the result that you work hard for. So we're pretty excited about that.
Right. Thanks so much.
Go Vikings!
Ball Hill back into Motzel, and it's blocked by Robinson. In the open floor. Pass. Henry to Cobbs. Cobbs with the layup. North Park with the lead. Augustana with the timeout. Teams played 3 weeks ago in Rock Island. It was a 30-plus point blowout in favor of Augie. Not so tonight. North Park has led wire to wire. 3-point attempt by Lake is good. North Park as Juwan Henry wants a clear out. Long three, nothing but net for Juwan Henry. Points, can't get the second to fall. Jurgutis comes up the floor. Jurgutis loses the ball. Henry at the buzzer, got the layup. North Park with the upset. North Park with the upset. 76-69. North Park has upset the fourth-ranked team in the nation.
Basketball coach Tom Slider. Vikings coming off probably their biggest victory of the season, a 76-69 victory over number 4 nationally ranked Augustana College. And Tom, I guess I don't even know where to start here. What are your thoughts now after a game like this? An unbelievable win for the guys.
Well, don't look at the stat sheet because it's not there. It's in the locker room with the players.
And quite frankly, we're a team that's believing, playing hard. In our opinion, we out-toughed or played with the toughness necessary to beat an Augustana team who's an extremely good opponent. And they kind of hang their hat on toughness. And we matched that tonight. We out-rebounded them with a bunch of smaller guys. And we went bowling on Monday night.
Okay.
I'm sorry, on Thursday night we went bowling. So
Where at?
down the street. I can't even tell you the name of the place. So we really didn't strategize a lot for this game, and we're going to go bowling again on Tuesday night.
Okay. All right. You talked about four things in practice. I know, obviously, Augustana being ranked number 4 in the country, but what were the other 4 things that you were talking about to the guys in practice before this game tonight?
Well, the first one is toughness. You have to match their toughness, and then you need to get back on defense, which we were a little suspect with that tonight. They still got some breaks. They really pushed the ball hard even after you score. Great characteristic of their team, makes it tough, and they steal a lot of buckets that way. We needed to out-rebound them, which we did, and we needed to stay together as a team. Team is a 4-letter word, by the way. And so I thought we did those things, obviously, well enough tonight. And TJ Cobbs came up absolutely huge at a critical time in the game. Colin Lake probably got the biggest rebound of the game at a critical time. And Michael Hutchison made free throws down the stretch. So a lot of guys came up big, and obviously it was a great win.
So what's the biggest thing now you guys got to do in order to stay focused now throughout the rest of the season?
Well, we got to keep having fun. We got to keep playing games and go bowling.
Okay. All right, thanks so much.
Go Vikings!
And I said, yep, just unbelievably exciting North Park men's basketball action coming at you. As we said now, the North Park men's basketball team will be returning to action this Wednesday night. Tomorrow night, we'll be hosting Wheaton College at home for a 7 o'clock game. We hope that you can join us. Join play-by-play announcer Greg Sager for all the North Park action, as we will be bringing you both live stats and live game action on our NPU Live website. Moving on to the other sports on campus, the North Park women's basketball team is also has a 3-1 record in their last 4 games. Back on January 21st, they earned a 64-54 victory over Elmhurst College. Unfortunately, they ended up losing a 95-90 decision to North Central College on January 24th, but then bounced back for a nice solid victory January 28th, a 63-60 overtime victory against Carthage College, and then later backed that up with a 66-44 victory over Augustana College on this past Saturday, January 31st. Where sophomore Rachel Torres scored a game-high 16 points. Looking at some of the individual performers for the North Park women's basketball team, Liz Rayberger is averaging 15.1 points per game, while Rachel Torres is averaging 3.6 assists per game. And like I said, too, we have a slew of highlights from the North Park women's basketball team, too, so let's go ahead and show those to you as well.
As the Vikings retrieve the defensive rebound now into the half court. That's Krukman off the glass and in. Torres to Krukman, banks one home, and it's 6-6. Krukman outlets to Rayberger, 2-on-1 Vikings. Shebeswowski gets the easy layup. North Park bench by 3 players, but gets it out to Shane. Vikings have numbers. Sloan underneath to Roman, got the layup. Ball handler, Sloan to Roman. Roman off the glass and in. Skip past to Rayberger for 3. Knocked it down!
A tough 95-90 loss to North Central College. Amanda, what do you think was the unfortunate breakdown in this game tonight against the Cardinals?
Well, we didn't shoot well from the free throw line. We were 16 of 28, and the games are won at the free throw line, and then they went to the line 43 times, so I think that was the game right there.
Talking about it, this is a very high-paced, fast-paced offensive team, but you guys did a really nice job defensively keeping up with them. Talk about what you guys just were able to do in that facet of the game.
Well, I thought we could have done a better job, and we gave up 95 points. So I know they can score it. You know, they're a quick shoot team and everything, but I would have liked to have slowed them down a little bit more than giving up 95 points.
A couple of career days for both Silly Roman and Nicole Krukman. Talking about especially what Nicole Krukman was able to do down low, got 14 rebounds, 22 points.
Yeah, against that kind of defense, there are going to be open layups, and she did a great job of finishing in there. She also got on the glass and did a nice job for us.
20 points for Sylvie Roman as well. Talking about what she was able to do.
Same thing. She was able to hit, score layups and finish inside, and she also got to the free throw line. Did a nice job from the line for us.
Thanks so much, Amanda.
Ball comes down to Roman. Roman banks one home. Keisha Biswowski off a ball screen from Krukman goes in for the layup, and we are all tied at 10. A shade under 9 minutes to go here in the half. Annie Shane to Rayberger. Rayberger for three. Got it down. Inbounds pass. Back to Torres down low. Torres, nice job getting that shot high off the backboard and in. As the women lead by 6 with 4:08 to go. Amani Davis for two, and it's a long two. Her toe is on the line.
Basketball coach Amanda Crockett. Vikings coming off a solid overtime victory, 63-60 over Carthage College this evening. Amanda, looking at the stat sheet, I know unfortunately you guys struggled a little bit at the free throw line, but what do you think was probably the biggest thing that led you guys to this victory tonight?
I think our defense really stepped up. Our guards played some really tough defense at the top of that 2-3 zone, and they're really flying around and closing out hard on shooters, and we got the stops that we needed down the stretch.
Talking about the free throw line performance, 12 of 26, not exactly what you were looking for, but just talk about what you guys were able to do at that aspect of the game.
Well, I like that we got to the free throw line, but I don't like that we shot 46%. To shoot 46% from the line and to still win, says something about our defense and how that really won the game for us.
Liz Rayberger did a nice job bouncing back after the game on Saturday. Comes back 7-12, finishes with a game high 22 points. Talk about what she was able to do.
She got some steals, in our press and in our zone, and she was able to. Defense created offense for her. She was able to get some easy layups off of that, and then that kind of got her going, and she was able to hit. So I think her defense really helped her out.
Guys going now and playing Augustana, hoping to avenge that loss on Saturday. What do you think is going to be the biggest thing you guys got to focus on these next 3 days in order to get that victory against Augustana?
Well, we need to defend, we need to play with urgency, we need to bring an edge.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Liz Rayberger to Krukman in the high post. Back out to Amani Davis. 13 left on the shot clock. Torres kicks it out to Davis. Back to Torres. Attempts a three. Nothing but net. Rachel Torres. Rayberger back up top to Torres. Amani Davis looking into the post. Krukman can't get free. This is Rachel Torres. 16-footer, knocked it down, and it's good to see Rachel Torres get hot from the field early on. And Rachel Torres comes out of there with it. Nice pass down to Krukman for two. Ball for a moment, gets it back. 10 left on the shot clock.
Had the curl open there. Seemed to not communicate the pass.
Davis knocks down a three. Amani Davis kicking the ball up the floor. Annie Shane will attempt a three. Got it. Annie Shane.
You're here with head women's basketball coach Amanda Crockett. Vikings coming off another solid victory, 66-44 over Augustana College. Amanda, what do you think was the biggest thing you guys were able to do to bounce back and get this victory after what you guys lost them earlier in the month?
I thought we did a good job of taking care of the basketball. We had 17 assists and 13 turnovers. All of our guards were positive assist-to-turnover ratio. I thought that was a huge key for us.
Talk about what Rachel Torres was able to do. She's all over the place tonight. 16 points, 27 minutes to play, 6 of 9 from the field.
Well, she had a real nice game. She played basketball how we've been waiting for her to play basketball for a while now. It was good to see her have a game like this. We know what she's capable of.
You mentioned, too, that the team had 17 assists. Talk about how much the offense just spread the ball around.
Our game plan was to get good ball movement, get ball reversals. I think we did a good job doing that.
Talk about, too, the alumni game you guys had before the game. Nice group of girls coming out, a couple of players from years past. Talk about what you guys were able to do with that.
Well, it's just good to have them come back, and kind of celebrate what they've done in the past for us, and have them, get together and play a little game before our game.
Talking about what Coach Rosengarten was able to do, knock down a couple threes there.
I think she hit 3 or 4 threes. range.
Thanks so much, Amanda.
Thank you.
So yep, just a lot of exciting North Park action, both men's and women's basketball. And now the North Park Vikings women's basketball team will be returning to action tomorrow night when they travel to Wheaton College for a 7 p.m. game, and we'll be bringing you that game on our website as well as with live stats and hopefully video from that game. Moving on to the other sports on campus, before we do go into the highlights of the track and field team, who was in action this past Saturday as well, out at the Don and Riley Zimmer Invite at Trine University in Angola, Indiana. Our play-by-play announcer, Greg Sager, was able to catch up with head football coach Mike Conway a few weeks ago to talk a little bit about how the football team has done, just not only this past year, but what has been going on with recruiting. So let's go ahead and show you that special interview that Greg Sager just had with Coach Conway a few weeks ago.
Let's start off by talking about this past season. Just give us your thoughts on how your second season here at the helm at North Park went.
Well, I mean, we had progress. I mean, that's the way it should be. I mean, it's a project. It's not something that just happens overnight. We got to continue to grow and mature as a team and as a program and as a coaching staff. So, you know, we're in that process of building, and you know, we feel like we've laid a foundation under the right principles of how you should build a program and do it the right way. And now we're just trying to build on those foundational principles that we've established here in those last 2 years. They've been a tough 2 years, but only the best things in life are the ones that are tough. I tell the kids that all the time, and you know, I think we know how to train now. I think we know how to work, and hopefully last year we learned how to win some games. And we're very young, we're very excitable, we're enthusiastic, and we're going to keep fighting, and we're going to break through. We're going to break through here real soon.
6 Vikings making the all-CCIW team. That is something that has not happened in quite a few years. Do you believe that that's indicative of North Park managing to start to close the talent gap between where the Vikings were and the rest of the league, or is it more a case of just the Vikings having, you know, a handful of real standout players? In other words, is it a team-wide thing, or is it more just a couple of individuals?
Well, you know, I'm not a big individual awards guy. I don't have individual team awards for our team. I don't believe in it. It's a team sport, and anytime one of our players gets an award, everyone has contributed to that award, obviously, and I talk about that daily with our kids. And so, therefore, if we have more awards individually, then therefore we have gained more team aspects to it. So I think that's where what we face, and it's nice to have the individual awards, but they're really not individual awards, and our kids would tell you that we got that in their heads, and they know that. And you can't do anything in football without the rest of those guys supporting you, and not only the guys that play with you on the field, but the guys that practice with you every day, and that help you to have the opportunity to be successful and learn from everything you're doing. So, to me, it's the ultimate team award, and we gained some respect, I think, from the league, because I don't vote on the league votes on them, and that makes a lot. That means a lot to me that the coaches in this league have shown a little bit more respect over a short period of time. So hey, it's good for that reason alone.
Let's talk a little bit about what you have coming back next year. I think the initial, I don't know if concern would be the right word, but maybe the initial focus is on the defense, and of course you are your own defensive coordinator. The Vikings losing 5 starters to graduation. Do you see the program as at the point now where they're ready to fill in those spots, or are you going to have to go out and get certain people to fill certain positions, or where is the defense stand right now in terms of personnel going into next year?
I think it's a little of both in that regard. I think we've got some developmental kids. I mean, we played a lot of young kids. We played a lot of freshmen. We had Sean Miava and Nick French, guys that are freshmen that played a lot last year and ended up doing really well. And they got they got baptized under fire in a lot of ways. Not only them, but we had 2 freshman corners that played every down for us. So we've got a lot. We had a very young team last year. And I know we lost a couple safeties that have been in this program now and have done a great job, but we really feel, with we've additioned some kids at mid-year that we think can help us defensively. We got some linebackers that are going to be seniors. We got with Brendan Dull and Joe Butts, our seniors coming back. Sean Mayavis coming back at locker. We've got some very exciting young guys, Matt DeFecchio, and we're going to move him probably to a safety position. And we got Nick, like I said, Nick French is coming back, and there's some guys that at corner we've been developing. And you'd like to have guys that you develop be ready to step in, and they're going to do that. But we also got to challenge them by bringing in some guys that are going to challenge those guys. And I don't care if they're freshmen or not. I don't care where they come from or what year they are. They're going to have to compete, and they're going to have to do some things to get on the field. And, we always talk about iron sharpens iron, and our kids are going to practice to support each other and practice and compete with each other on the practice field, and hopefully you have a chance to compete with each other on the game field when we get to the game. So I feel good about the growth of our young guys to be able to step in, and I also feel good about the guys we're recruiting right now and the guys we have recruited mid-year to come in and help us some on defense.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about the offense. Now, of course, we start with the quarterback, T.D. Conway, continuing to rewrite the North Park record book at quarterback. First team All-CCIW this year, and this year joined by a pretty dangerous weapon at wide receiver in Devin Childress. Second team All-CCIW, tied the North Park record for touchdown catches in a season. A pretty dynamic offense, maybe looking for a little bit more out of the running game next year. How do you see the offense?
Yeah, you got it right on the money there, Greg. It's got to be a running. We got to do a better job of running the football. We put an awful lot of pressure on those two young guys in our offense. And not only them, I mean, I think we had 13 or 14 guys on our offense catch touchdown passes, or score touchdowns, I should say. We had 20-some guys catch passes in our system. So we got contributions from everybody, not just Devin. There's been a lot of really good support for TD in the passing game, but we think that the most important thing for us is to be able to run the football better, and we're addressing those situations by recruiting, and we're addressing those situations by our offensive line and system. You got to be able to get those big plays, and they happen because you can run the ball, and we got to run the ball to kill the clock and do some things too to control the football and not just continually throw the ball all over the place. And we are, and that has been good, but we have to develop a running game. So you're exactly right, Greg. It's something we're working on daily.
Talking about that offensive line seems like a logical transition to talk about some of those frequent flyer miles that you've been accumulating recently. Let's talk about your trip to Samoa this past month. Tell us a little bit about what's going on in terms of the Samoan angle with North Park football.
Yeah, well, we might as well talk about it. It's not a secret or anything. One of the things we felt was to try to establish some opportunities to branch out and recruit different areas. And we recruit, of course, regionally, and this is our area. But, we're developing a system here and some credibility within the Chicagoland area. So we felt it was important to go as far as we need to go, basically, to find athletes, student athletes that fit our profile at our university and that they fit my profile as the leader of this program. And we've found the Polynesian kids, they have the same value system and beliefs that I have and that just the university has. So they're mission-fit kids that are very much in tune and excited about having a chance to come to this school. So it's been really a blessing for us. We've got a really nice community of not just football players, but of students in general from American Samoa and in Hawaii. We're going to recruit pretty hard those kids. Not many people recruit those kids. It's not easy, but like we say all the time, we got to do the things that aren't easy, and we got to find a way and we got to hunt and not fish, and we got to do some things that that make it happen. But these kids, you know, they have the same value system and beliefs that I have and that we have as a university. One is their faith in God is the most important thing. Their family is important, and the future of the young people, and that's why I recruit, and that's who I look for, and that's part of my philosophy and my sales pitch, if you want to say it, to families and kids that I recruit, no matter where they come from. So it's a good fit. The kids are doing well in school. They're thankful and happy and comfortable, and I just love them. I just think that God has allowed us to, and they're mission fit kids, and God has allowed us to put these kids in our lives, and amazing thing. It's been an amazing thing for me, Greg, and I'm blessed by having the opportunity to really have a chance to recruit these kids and their families.
I say, yeah, looking forward to another great season for North Park football, as they'll be starting things up in the fall of 2015, as we'll be bringing you so much more exciting Vikings action as it unfolds, as once summer and into the fall months come for that time. As I said, the North Park track and field team, after they had a 2 weeks of practice before in between meets, they came back to competition this past Friday, actually, January 30th. They were at the Don and Riley Zimmer Invitational at Tryon University in Angola, Indiana. And the biggest highlight of that event was junior Natalie Swanson on the women's team set 2 school records, one coming in the shot put where she had a toss of 11.95 meters, and then in the 20-pound weight throw where she had a toss of 14.04 meters. So both those a school record. Just a huge highlight for the North Park men's and women's track and field team, as they now are going to be going straight into the rest of their indoor season, as they will be traveling to the University of Chicago this coming weekend at 11 a.m. on Saturday. So as I said, yes, this has been another edition of NPU Weekly. We hope that you have enjoyed this edition of NPU Weekly, and we hope that you'll be able to join us on our website this coming week, as we'll be bringing you North Park men's basketball action and women's basketball action tomorrow night, as the Vikings will be taking on Wheaton College. And until then, I'm your host, Kevin Shepke, and in the meantime, go Vikings!